Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. Let's talk about what this team did in the offseason as a whole for free agency and what they've done in the NFL draft. This team went in and they got a lot of their weaknesses upgraded. When I look at this Cleveland Browns team from last year to this year, it's going to be very different. Last year, they struggled defensively, and Deshaun Watson was suspended majority of the season, dealing with the off-the-field issues. And it wasn't just the fact that Deshaun Watson was suspended that hurt this team so much. It was the fact that he was rusty. He didn't get those playing snaps in training camp and OTAs. Because if you guys remember, his suspension and his punishment was all put together. He couldn't work out with the team, and he couldn't build that rapport with guys such as Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones. So he had to start the season with Jacoby Brissett. And Deshaun Watson did show some glimpses of him being that former quarterback that he used to be. When he had his last full year in the NFL, he had 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Now I'm expecting a huge year coming up for this Cleveland Browns team. All they need is for Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback that he was a couple years ago. Be that top 5 to top 10 guy. Work off of play action with Nick Chubb and get the ball to one of the best route runners in football and Amari Cooper. We know the Cleveland Browns have had a strong run game since Nick Chubb has been with this team. He is Mr. Consistent. He was third in rushing yards in the entire NFL with 1,525 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns. So we know Nick Chubb is going to do his thing. Great in the open field, just bulldozes through people, has a nice stiff arm. You can give him the ball 20 to 25 times a game and he can work off that play action. Deshaun Watson just needs to be what he used to be a couple years ago with the Houston Texans. And I believe that he can be. Shake off that rust and see what he has in practice and go full metal and get this chemistry together. Amari Cooper last season was very good. Had a sneaky good season, 1,160 yards and 9 touchdowns. A phenomenal route runner. And they also made a trade to go out and get Elijah Moore, slot receiver from the New York Jets. This kid has all-world potential. Has been held back by the New York Jets for the simple fact he has Zach Wilson throwing him the football. Now you're pairing him up with Amari Cooper to where he can get that single roll coverage. And also you have Donovan Peoples-Jones who can fly down the field and get you big chunk yards and get you big chunk plays, who is a bona fide number 2 wide receiver. Last season, Donovan Peoples-Jones had 839 receiving yards and had 14 yards a catch. So you have a good receiving core now around Deshaun Watson. And don't forget Anthony Schwartz. He's a guy that can go down there and stretch the field for you. Isn't going to put up major production, but he can be used as a decoy to get everybody else open on this team. The offensive line is still solid when you look at Jedrick Wills Jr. and Jack Conklin at the tackle positions. And they still have that good interior offensive line that can set blocks up for Nick Chubb. So I know and understand that a lot of people want, including myself, want to see Deshaun Watson go out there and have an MVP type of year. But it's about winning football games. The strength of the Cleveland Browns, even with Deshaun Watson playing at his best, is to run the football, control the clock, and let Deshaun Watson work off that run game. Kevin Stefanski found a way to win a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. I believe he can make a deep playoff run with Deshaun Watson if he's playing at his best. Because you know how bad Baker Mayfield was for this football team. Now, defensively last year, they were bad. They were terrible. That's why Joe Woods got fired. But you're bringing in Jim Schwartz now, a very good defensive mind in the NFL. We will see how he works. And the defense has good players. It wasn't just because the players weren't good on the team. Denzel Ward is a good corner. Myles Garrett is one of the best pass rushers in all of football. 16 sacks in back-to-back seasons and 2 forced fumbles last season. He's a certified beast. You have Dalvin Tomlinson at the defensive tackle position now. He's a big body that's going to help stop the run. That was the biggest weakness for the Cleveland Browns with that defensive tackle position when we talk about across the defensive line. They could not get interior pressure and they could not get interior stops. You have Dalvin Tomlinson now, and you also drafted Siaki Ika, another big body to have alongside Dalvin Tomlinson. They're going to stop the run together. Siaki Ika can go up there and also push the pocket for pressure, and he's 6'4", 360 pounds from Baylor. I expect a huge season out of him. He may not show up on the stat sheet, but his presence will be felt when you put him in the game, and how Jim Schwartz, wants to use him moving forward alongside Myles Garrett. Because now you have the double team. Myles Garrett is going to free these guys up on the defensive line to go out there and get the quarterback. And you're playing in a rough division. You're in a division to where teams want to run the football and they want to control the line of scrimmage. And that's what the Cleveland Browns have to do. Your first step was getting Myles Garrett a couple years ago and re-signing him. but now getting Siaki Ika and Dalvin Thompson helps out with that a lot. And you also made a trade to go out and get Zadarius Smith. 10 sacks last season, 1 forced fumble. I understand he had a lot of issues with the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings had to trade him away for cap concern reasons, but you're getting a guy that can get you double-digit sacks. He did that alongside Danielle Hunter. Imagine what he can do alongside Myles Garrett when you have to double, in certain cases, triple team and chip block Myles Garrett. It's going to be a lot of one-on-one opportunities for Zadarius Smith to go out there and get the quarterback and also help stop the run. Now, is he a great pass rusher? Is he one of the best pass rushers in the league, like top 5? No, but he is extremely good. And he's going to feed off of Myles Garrett. Remember when they had Jadeveon Clowney a couple years ago and they were hyping him up? This is going to be a similar effect, but Zadarius Smith is more of a pass rusher than Jadeveon Clowney. The run defense is a bit iffy from Zadarius Smith. It is there when he is ready to go and his motor is on, but if they can just get him at full health and full speed, you have your 2 bona fide pass rushers with this team, and it's going to help out that secondary. Last year, the secondary struggled. Denzel Ward is a very good corner, but alongside Denzel Ward, you had a lot of problems. I like Greg Newsome. He's a very good corner as well. He has good potential. I think that he could be a bona fide number 2 in the NFL. He's still learning. He's still growing as a player. I like Grant Delpit at the safety position. Did tear his Achilles his rookie season, so he got to miss his entire rookie season. So last year was one of those learn as you go type of seasons for him. But I think that they have good defensive talent on this team. I like the linebackers that they have as well. When we talk about Anthony Walker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's a bit undersized at the linebacker position, but he will go out there and be very physical. He had 2 forced fumbles last season and 45 solo tackles. So I'm looking at this Cleveland Browns team to go out there and give it their all and to be a tough team that can make a deep playoff run. This is not the same Cleveland Browns from a couple of years ago that when they had RG3 and Corey Coleman. This is a different type of Cleveland Browns team. They made the playoffs a couple years ago against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The quarterback position has just been the only thing that's been bad about this team. But I believe Deshaun Watson can be top 5 to top 10 again. Give it a few weeks next season because it's going to be the start of the season. Guys are rusty, but let him get into his groove. And I believe that Coach Stefanski can go out there, coach up a nice game plan with Deshaun Watson, something similar he did with Baker Mayfield, but he doesn't have to hold back. I believe Deshaun Watson can be all world in this system, and I think the sky's the limit for his Cleveland Browns team. This is the best Cleveland Browns team this team has had in quite some time. You have a top 5, top 10 potential quarterback. You have one of the best running backs in football. Amari Cooper is very good. He's very solid. You also have Cedric Tillman on this team that you drafted, 6'3", 215 pounds from Tennessee. He's also a kid that can go out there and stretch the field. He gave Alabama hell as well when they went against him in college. So this is a guy that can go out there and also stretch the field and can be another playmaking wide receiver for Deshaun Watson. They are deep at the wide receiver position. That was a weakness last season. And they also touched up this defense and got a brand new defensive coordinator. If this upcoming season is not a playoff run for the Cleveland Browns, Coach Stefanski's job may be in trouble. I know that may be a bit unfair, but you know how the NFL is and how they want to see immediate production. But I have to give Andrew Berry his credit. He's went in, he's made the right moves, he's made the right trades to get this team over the top. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Cleveland Browns. Is this a playoff caliber team? And how far can they make a run in the NFL playoffs? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.